Thank you, Adrian. A damp, cool night in South Yorkshire, weather in contrast to the atmosphere at a Hillsborough stadium that's been privy to a streak of absorbing semi-finals in the past, but tonight one that captivates the locals like few others. Wednesday have never lost a playoff tie here at their famous old ground and protect the best home record in the division. In a second leg, they have to win if they're to maintain hope of an instant return to the championship. The Sunderland will testify that progression through the end of season circus is never routine. Their history littered with playoff nights of anticipation and frustration, of Charlton's and Lincoln's, that elusive first playoff final win still ahead of them. Occasions like this will never be second nature, but if they can maintain their current 14-game unbeaten run for at least another 90 minutes, they'll be back at Wembley for a date with Wycombe, in which they'd have favourites billing. The Black Cats' favourites are in the west stand away to our left. Their allocation of 2,000 snapped up in the blink of an eye. Away to our right, a sea of South Yorkshiremen. The hotbed of Wednesday support on the Kop, where inflatable balls and donuts have done battle with blue balloons throughout the last hour. And this the team there behind. Peacock, Farrell in goal. A back three of Story, Dean and Hutchinson. Hunt and Johnson wide. Byers and Luongo in central midfield. And Bannon behind Gregory and Windus. Nicky Gray alongside me, former Sheffield Wednesday player. What are your thoughts on that Owls team?
Well, it's obviously stronger than what it was on Friday evening. When you obviously listen to what Alan has to say, it's probably their best 11. They did need that little bit more energy up front, and that's why Josh Windass gets his opportunity. And Jack Hunt coming into that right wing back position, who will love to get forward, and it's something that Sunderland have to watch out for. They've got to stay nice and solid as they possibly can early on in the game, Sunderland, and wait for their opportunities in this game.
Sunderland, Patterson in goal, Gooch, Wright, Bart and Sirkin, O'Neill and Evans, Roberts, Pritchard and Clark, and Stewart up front. And very quickly, back three or back four, what do you anticipate?
It's very hard to try and picture, Jim. I mean, I was watching him in the warm-up, there was three centre-halves who were kind of clear on the lines, but we'll see how the game pans out. But at the minute, it looks like it's a four.
Monday, May the 9th, the night where the League One road diverges. For one giant it points to Wembley, for the other it's a cul-de-sac. The season ending here for either Sheffield Wednesday or Sunderland, but it's Wycombe in the final at Wembley for the victors. We are underway. Wednesday kicking from right to left. They'll be attacking the Kop as they love to do in the second half, and Sunderland defending the end that's populated by their supporters in this first half of the Leppings Lane end of the ground. Sunderland in possession with Gooch, who controls it, takes the touch down towards the touchline, cleared towards halfway where Hutchinson can return it for Sheffield Wednesday. Both clubs playing in their customary colours. Sheffield Wednesday blue and white striped shirts and black shorts, Sunderland red and white striped shirts and black shorts. And Johnson's in possession on the Sheffield Wednesday left, lays it back for Hutchinson, and Hutchinson midway inside his own half goes back for Bailey Peacock Farrell. There was a rumour doing the rounds before the game on social media that he might not make it tonight, but he is playing, and Joe Wildsmith, the Wednesday reserve goalkeeper, is on the bench again. Ball play forward down the Sunderland right-hand side where Pritchard is fouled, and the first free kick of the night goes Sunderland's way, about 5 yards in for the right-hand touchline. We've played 90 seconds, 0-0, still 1-0 to Sunderland on aggregate, and here's Mickey Gray.
And I think we all expected a bright start from probably both sides, Jim, this evening, didn't we? And that's exactly what we've got. We can talk about the systems and what Sunderland are going to play, but one thing that shines straight to me is Luke O'Neill is standing right alongside Barry Bannon yet again, as he did in the game on Friday evening.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. There's Lyndon Gooch on the right-hand touchline for Sunderland from the free kick that was taken just down on the touchline. Sliding challenge comes in from Bannon, who got it away from Pritchard. Bannon, who received his Sheffield Wednesday Player of the Season award before the game started. Back for Gooch, left-footed ball swung inside the Wednesday penalty area, is headed away. Luongo's touch will come down towards the touchline. Bannon trying to keep it in and jockeying for position with Gooch. He's able to work it forward here for Windus, and it runs out of play. Windus almost running into Darren Moore. There'd be only one winner there, by the way, and it goes out of play for a throw which will be taken on the right-hand side. He was a 16-year-old at Torquay when I covered the club 30-odd years ago, more than that. And he was an enormous man then at 16. He's no smaller these days. A generation on, I can assure you. Ball is over on the Sunderland left-hand touchline. It's played back inside their own half, where Danny Barton, who knows this ground very well, he was part of the Wednesday side that won promotion during his loan spell here a decade ago. He's played it for Hutchinson, having to retreat here for Wednesday. Be picked up though by Roberts on the right-hand side of the penalty area. Little shove from him. Stewart's ball inside the box, laid back by Clark. Pritchard taking a touch and diving, and the referee says play on. He had a very good view of it. Pritchard furious, but it seemed a fair challenge from Hutchinson, and that has incurred the wrath of the crowd. Both the refereeing decision angering the Sunderland supporters, and the dive from Pritchard, or what the referee thought was a dive, angering the wrath of, or incurring the wrath of the Sheffield Wednesday supporters away to our right-hand side, who had a very good view of it.
Well, I mean, he made first contact, Pritchard. I don't think he had a reason to go down. Yes, he was close to the edge of the 18-yard area. I mean, I'm sure he felt contact, and of course he made the most of it. It was maybe the way he went down to ground which made the referee just wave his arms to say, right, carry on, I want this game to flow tonight.
Longo's got the ball in the midfield, and it's just laid off by Byers. Back for Story. One of several on this Sheffield Wednesday side who got plenty of previous experience in the playoffs. Story was in the Exeter side that got to the final a few years ago in League 2. Ball out of play for a Sunderland throw over on that far touchline. Crowd of around 33,000 here at Hillsborough this evening. Ball thrown into Ross Stewart, whose 25th goal of the season. Is the difference between these two on aggregate so far. Scored in first half stoppage time on Friday night. Comes down for Roberts, who can't quite control it, and it goes out of play for a throw that will be taken on the Sheffield Wednesday left. Wednesday finishing a point clear of Sunderland in the regular season. Both teams with 24 wins and victories in more than half of their league games. Wednesday with such an impressive record here, as we've been saying. They won 11 of the last 13 here. Sunderland conversely unbeaten in 7 away from home. A very impressive record since Alex Neil took over. Ball chip forward, trying to get Sunderland towards the edge of the Owls penalty area again, and then Byers was caught there. Sirkin making his way forward. That's a free kick to Sheffield Wednesday. It was an attempt to win the ball. He didn't get there. George Byers, the man that was brought down. Just a little word with the Sunderland player, nothing more than that. But, Byers might yet need treatment. He's not back on his feet yet. And it will be a free kick to Wednesday, 20 yards inside their own half. 0-0 on the night, 1-0 to Sunderland on aggregate.
Sirkin's got to be careful. It was a silly challenge. I think he came out worse himself. He was holding on to his hip. But Byers there, just getting himself back to his feet now. We obviously hope he's okay. He's limping around. He's going to feel it for the next minute and a half. Got to try and brush that off as quick as he can. But we're going to get stages, and we're going to get situations like this in the game, because there's so much at the end of this game. We know there's an opportunity to get to Wembley. And one thing I wanted to mention, Jim, there might be 11,000 less people in the stadium, but what an atmosphere at Hillsborough there is tonight. Yeah, absolutely magnificent. Free kick is taken, not particularly effectively, by Peacock Farrell. Wednesday got bodies forward, and it was too low and flat a delivery. Tethered away out of play for a throw, which is quickly taken by Johnson on the Wednesday left. You listen to Sheffield Wednesday against Sunderland in the EFL League One playoff semi-final. It's live on Talk Sport with McDonald's Fun Football. Search McDonald's Fun Football to find out more. Wednesday with Windus towards the edge of the penalty area. First real attack. Johnson's ball in, and it was defended after a fashion by Bailey Wright, who's sliding in, got caught by Gregory. He ends up on the deck lying on his back. Goalkeeper has the ball in his hands. Patterson not back on his feet yet. Gregory isn't either. A three-way collision, but the Sunderland defender Bailey Wright came off the worst, because he got sandwiched between Gregory and his goalkeeper, and maybe just had his ankle fall underneath him as he tried to clear that ball. And I think he's holding on to his face as well, Jim, so I don't know if there's any contact with his face, Bailey Wright, but he's just getting himself back to his feet now, as is Lee Gregory. But what a great move from Sheffield Wednesday, playing the ball through the middle, worked it really well over to the left-hand side. And what I expected on Friday evening, Marvin Johnson, first time with that wonderful left foot of his, just curling a ball delightfully into that 6-yard area. And the goalkeeper there, Patterson, had to come off his line just to clear up the little bit of mess that Sunderland found themselves in. But promising start. Early stages obviously for Sheffield Wednesday, but you can see they're trying to get themselves on a half turn. They're getting the ball forward a lot quicker than what they did, trying to take the game to Sunderland.
Still being attended to is right inside his own penalty area. He's another that has won this playoff campaign in the past. They're back with Preston some 7 seasons ago. The Australian international, the most experienced playoff veteran in the Sunderland side. He's just got a cut around his eye that they are still attending to inside the 6-yard box. Don't forget, tomorrow here on TalkSport, Laura Woods, Ali McCoys and Darren Bent joining them from 8 o'clock. And their guests on the show tomorrow include the Brighton and Netherlands international Joel Veltman and the former Sunderland and Everton boss Sam Allardyce, who'll have plenty to say about everything going on. Looking ahead to the FA Cup final, no doubt, talking about Everton's relegation battle and reflecting on everything that has happened tonight as well. And that's tomorrow morning on TalkSport from 6 till 10, followed by White and Jordan at 10, Hawksby and Baker from 1. And then Andy Goldstein with Charlie Austin, his guest, on Drive tomorrow night on TalkSport. Bailey Wright, okay, he's back on his feet and able to continue. Gregory back on the field as well, having received his treatment. And Pritchard's got the ball at his feet in the midfield for Sunderland. And it comes down towards the right-hand touchline for Gooch. It's then played forward quickly by Johnson. Gregory coming to meet it. Bannon chipping it over the top, and Windus is going to give chase, but Bart had it covered, and there's a little bit too much on it anyway, and it rolls through for Patterson away to our left-hand side. It remains 0-0 with 10 gone on TalkSport.
That's just a couple of occasions Sheffield Wednesday have overplayed the ball. I don't know if the adrenaline's still running through the veins. They've got to try and calm themselves down a little bit. Of course, they want that opportunity to try and get themselves back into this tie as quick as they possibly can. And I think that's where Sunderland themselves have got to be patient. They've got to wait for their opportunities. I said before, they've got 1 foot in the final, but it's a long way from getting the second one in there.
This is a Wednesday side who've scored more goals this season than they have for 10 years. They've averaged more than 2 a game in the second half of the season. They're yet to have a real side of goal here. It took them a long time to have a worthwhile opportunity Friday night on Weir's side as well. Peacock Farrell's got the ball in his hands, just bowls it down to his left-hand side for Harley Dean, and Dean will bring the ball outside the penalty area before a hurried ball for Hutchinson, who then drives it forward, helped on by Gregory, and a really good run off the ball from Luongo, who's got Windus in the middle. He's got Hunt making his way forward as well. Gooch stumbles out of possession. Evans cuts out the initial ball in, and then Luongo wins it back, takes it down towards Johnson, who can get it inside the box. Gregory from a tight angle with a shot that was blocked, and Gooch should be able to get it away. He's under pressure, fouled by Johnson, and it's a free kick to Sunderland on the right-hand side of the box. First really good attack from Wednesday, very cleverly worked by Gregory and Luongo, but it's still 0-0.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. You can see they're wanting to try and get on the front foot, Sheffield Wednesday. Luongo getting himself into a good position. He had Windus. If he just wanted to swing his left foot at it early, but he tried to chop the ball back onto his right foot. They eventually get the ball into the area. They get the strike away. Sunderland defenders throwing their bodies on the line. And Lyndon Gooch, I think, got off very, very lightly. There was a shove in his back and he went to ground. He won the foul for his side, but he's got to try and be a little bit stronger than that for me.
Josh Windus certainly livened things up when he replaced Berahino as a second half substitute the other night. Making his first start in the playoffs today, Windus, for 6 years. He scored in his last one, which was back early in his career with Accrington. Hunt can shepherd the ball out of play. It's a throw which will be taken over on the Sheffield Wednesday right-hand side. And just level with the edge of the penalty area, way to our right that Wednesday are defending. He's stolen a good 10 yards there, Jack Hunt, before preparing to launch this forward. Nicks another couple before throwing it forward, looking for Gregory's flick. Pritchard in the midfield for Sunderland, winning the seconds. Gooch will just let the ball turn. He had more time there before driving it forward. It's punted straight down the middle though for Stewart, and the offside flag belatedly comes up against him. Now it's a free kick to Sheffield Wednesday at 10 yards outside their own penalty area. 12 gone on TalkSport. 1-0 Sunderland leading on aggregate. And here are the thoughts of the former England defender Mickey Gray.
Just looking down at the technical area there, and Alex Neil has just come to the edge of that, just to have a word with Lyndon Goose, just to say, look, calm yourself down. He's got so much time on the ball, he can bring it down, he can get his head up, try and pick somebody out. I think they're just rushing things at the moment, Sunderland. It's Sheffield Wednesday, definitely, who've settled into the game a lot better.
Hutchinson towering above Roberts to be able to head the ball away. Luongo going up for it in the midfield. Gregory coming back, chests it down, finds Bannon over the top for Windus, but although they turned the Sunderland back line, it was easy for Patterson to come out and play. But as you can hear, we've got the Sheffield Wednesday supporters literally right behind us, but you can hear they're enthused by what they've seen so far. It's been a very good start from the home team.
They're urging them on, Jim, as you would expect them to. They're wanting Sunderland to get on with the game right now. Patterson just taking a little bit of a breather. The referee's trying to wave him just to say you need to start hurrying up. But a couple of just stray passes from Bannon, but he will get it right eventually because he's starting to find a little bit more space in this game. Luke O'Nien, who's designated to mark 1v1, man-to-man Markham, has just lost them on a couple of occasions. The more the game goes on, the more Sheffield Wednesday settle down. They just look a lot more comfortable.
There's so many risk-reward balances in evidence tonight. The way that Wednesday approached this, the way that Sunderland approached this defending the lead, but also individually as well, with Bannon will always try and play a difficult pass, knowing that if he gets it right on the relatively rare occasion that he does get that 10% ball right, and he gets it right much more than 10% of the time,
absolutely,
it can be so potent.
Yeah.
And you have to take the fact that he's going to get some of them wrong and will give it away, because his brilliance is there.
You're completely right, Jim, and I think, 9 goals this season, 12 assists, I think that kind of says it all. He's a quality player.
Now here's Clark breaking forward down the Sunderland left-hand side, ball in towards Roberts, who'd made a run towards the edge of the 6-yard box, but Wednesday sweep up with Dean. And Hunt again will shepherd the ball out of play down by his corner flag this time. It's a Sheffield Wednesday throw over on that far side. 0-0 on the night. Well,
it's better from Jack Clark. Over on that left-hand side, we haven't really seen too much of him in the early stages of this game. He's got to try and work that ball onto his right foot. He didn't really have a lot to aim for when he got himself into a good position. Well, that's down to the forward players of Sunderland. They've got to try and get away from their markers, just that little half a yard, and create those opportunities.
And Sunderland come again down the left-hand side. Hunt stops the cross coming in initially. It's played back here for O'Nien, and he's been robbed in possession. And Wednesday are going to be able to bring it forward here just for a moment from very deep. It was 3 against 3, but Sunderland got bodies back, and Sirkin defended it really well. Got in between Luongo and the ball and just guided it back to his goalkeeper. 2
Sunderland midfield players working hard to come back. Whether there was a bit of contact there, the referee's been very quick to put his whistle to his mouth. But again, it's Sunderland giving the ball away in silly situations when there's no need for them to do it, and giving the ball back to Sheffield Wednesday.
Corey Evans driving it over the top. Pritchard loses the battle of the 2 number 21s in the midfield to Luongo. And Bannon, the diminutive blonde-haired Scotsman, brings it forward. No foul by Evans. Cleared at the back by Bart. Down towards the touchline where Hutchinson will win the battle with Roberts and let the ball run out of play for a Sheffield Wednesday throw. The referee letting plenty go, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, he is, and I think sometimes he has to try to pull it up just to say to the players, look, you need to calm yourselves down. As well as Sheffield Wednesday have played, you're still waiting for that one clear-cut opportunity. What worries me about Sunderland is how much they're going from back to front. They're not even looking at the midfield players at the moment. They're panicking too much.
Bannon has it again. Running towards the edge of the penalty area. It's a great turn, reverse ball. Windus with the first shot that was blocked. Now he tries to drive it back in. It takes the deflection and goes out of play for the first corner of the night, won by Sheffield Wednesday.
What a pass. Barry Bannon getting away from his marker, Luke O'Nien. A little reverse pass down the side of the 18-yard area to Windus. Tried to get the ball across, and his first attempt was blocked, and then his cross ended up going out for a corner. But you can just see the signs. They're all over the place, Sunderland. They're a little bit nervy right now.
So Luongo's made his way forward. Dean trying to get free as well. Corner in towards the near post was too low and flat and was volleyed away. Left-footed ball helped back in by Johnson. It's a deep swirler that goes out to Windus down by the corner flag. It's half cleared, and it will be a Sunderland throw over on that far side. The first Sheffield Wednesday set piece is successfully navigated by the Black Cats back line, which has been in very impressive form. The last 14 games, they've only led in 7, which is a hugely impressive record.
Which is one of the reasons I think Lee Johnson unfortunately lost his post, and Alex Neil was brought in to try and show them up the back, and he's done a very good job. But the way things look at the moment, Jimmy, it just looks as if it's one game too many for them, you know, whether the occasion's getting to the players at the moment, or Alex Neil has maybe even said to his players, look, I don't want you playing through midfield. Early stages of the game, I just want you to get out of your feet and try and play behind this back line of Sheffield Wednesday. Well, at the moment, it's not really working because it just keeps bouncing back.
Now, coming together off the ball, one of the Sunderland players went down. Is it 09 that is down over there? And there was a really angry reaction from Bannon. He wasn't the Wednesday player involved, but he leant over 09 and clearly felt as though he was making something of nothing. And it'll be interesting to see exactly what did happen there. It was whilst there was a throw, which was on the Sunderland left-hand side, and two players just standing next to each other, and all of a sudden 09 has just crumpled to the ground.
Yeah, it's a bit of a strange one. I mean, I thought there was a clash of heads when they come together, but it looks as if it's around about his mid-drift, and there was a bit of contact, and I think the referee just said, look, get to your feet. I don't need any of that nonsense. Let's get on with the game of football.
It's James Linnington who is taking charge tonight, and he's being reminded by the Sheffield Wednesday supporters of the responsibility the Sunderland have to restart play relatively quickly, as opposed to completely in their own time, which is what's happening at the moment, which is fine if the time is being added on. And certainly, if I was a Sunderland fan, don't get me wrong, I'd want my side to be killing the game in the way that Alex Neil's Black Cats are trying to do it. If you're a Wednesday fan, I suppose you have to take it on the chin, but the time does need to be added on.
No, absolutely, Jim. Look, they're playing the game at the moment, Sunderland, whereas they're trying to frustrate this crowd. Oh, goodness me.
And that's a very cheap corner conceded. The ball was hit briskly from about 50 yards back towards Patterson, the goalkeeper, and he just completely miscontrolled it. He was too worried about where the ball was going to go next. It's run underneath his feet, straight out of play for a corner. The cheapest concession of a corner, possibly, the Sunderland have suffered all season. And can Wednesday make it a very expensive error?
Well, I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, the ball just bounced over the top of him. There's no pressure on him whatsoever. Can you imagine? He's a very lucky boy, actually. If he was in front of his goal, it would have been a goal down.
Bannon's going to take this one, both arms above his head, left-footed in, swinging delivery, headed down and wide by Story, and out of play for a goal kick. And Patterson's heart is still beating quickly, but it's just moving south from his mouth as we speak.
I think that just epitomises the way Sunderland have started this game. It's been scrappy, they've not got any flow to the game whatsoever. The ball is just being hoofed from back to front. There's nobody in midfield can get the foot on the ball, they can get the ball down and start playing to the wide players. And Patterson there just showed the nerves that I think is flowing through the whole of the team.
He's only 21, Anthony Patterson. He's only been first choice keeper since January. It's the biggest occasion of his young career today. Here's Roberts at the other end. Roberts trying to find a way through, a man that scored Champions League goals in the past. Oh, just sold Gooch a little bit short. It was one back. Pritchard then comes to meet it. Hutchinson couldn't make a challenge from behind him there inside the penalty area. It could easily have been a penalty. Wednesday half get it clear, and then Hutchinson down by his own corner flag on the turn. Can clear his lines and allow Wednesday the opportunity to reset, but it will be a Sunderland throw that will be taken only about 10 yards from that corner flag. 21 gone, 0-0.
Initially, super play from Patrick Roberts. He skipped past about 2 or 3 players, but then his layoff, there was no care in it whatsoever. You've got to try and make it crisp so the player you're playing the ball to has a chance as well.
Gooch taking on Bannon, fouling him, and it's a free kick to Wednesday in their left back position, right down by the corner flag. Midway through the first half, Sunderland have had some nervy moments. They have been second best so far. Wednesday haven't been able to really test Patterson, and it remains 0-0 and 1-0 to Sunderland on aggregate.
Well, there's no doubt they're on the back foot, Sunderland. and it's all down to the intensity of what Sheffield Wednesday are bringing to this game. They're trying to get the ball into good areas again, just playing the ball forward on this occasion. But if you're nervy at the back, then why not play on the negativity of what Sunderland have showed us so far in this game?
Well, possession at the moment is just in Sunderland's favour. Very similar to how the league game was here earlier this season. It was 49-51 that day. Sunderland having the 51, they lost 5-0. So possession didn't mean anything.
No.
The ball played down towards Johnson on the Wednesday left. He's just kept it in. It was a close run thing. He's trying to take it down towards the corner flag. Now the ball line, 2 Sunderland players around him, and Roberts can clear and gets it towards halfway, where Story will bring it down on his thigh, work it back for his goalkeeper. Now Peacock Farrell will pass out from the back. A touch risky with Stewart bearing down on Dean. But Dean, after a neat little 1-2 with his goalkeeper, gets it clear. Doesn't get much distance on the clearance though, and Sunderland will pick it up in the midfield with Evans. And now working it forward down the left-hand side, they've won a free kick as Byers has pulled back his man and gets a yellow card for it as well. First caution of the night, yellow card for Sheffield Wednesday's George Byers.
James Lineker, the referee, was on the spot, just a little tug on the arm there, and straight into his pocket there to pick out that yellow card, and it gives Sunderland the opportunity to calm themselves down. I mean, they've got the chance to put the ball into Sheffield Wednesday area now, and I think this is what they need. They need a little bit of a breather. There's not one player out there who's been able to just put the foot on the ball, get their head up, try and pick out one of their teammates. It's all been a little bit too rushed.
Alex Pritchard takes nearly all of the free kicks and set pieces, and that one is whistled in. It's a flick header, I think, from Stewart, and goes over the bar without Peacock Farrell having a save to make. Although he was scrambling, it was only about a foot and a half over the bar. Difficult half chance, but one that Sunderland couldn't take. Byers plays it out, finds Bannon, now driven forward over halfway, brought down by Lee Gregory, who runs into trouble. He's been in a rich vein of goal-scoring form at the back end of the season with 8 goals in his last 9 games, and those 8 goals have been worth 9 points for Sheffield Wednesday as well. Could score in this fixture earlier this season. Now played out, and Luongo takes it out towards the right-hand touchline, and Story will work it back through the midfield again. Byers into the midfield, where Windus has dropped deep, and he can turn very neatly in possession. Down to his left-hand side for Hutchinson. Hutchinson again. Windus just trying to low ball forward, hoping to time it so he got it into the path of Gregory's run, but just a fraction of a second too late. And he goes through for Sunderland goalkeeper Patterson, and it's still 0-0 on the night.
It's alarming how much space the Sheffield Wednesday players are picking up in that midfield area. No contact with whatsoever, and then the opposite, the complete opposite, when the ball's played up to one of the Sheffield Wednesday centre forwards, there's nobody in behind them trying to say, well, I'm just behind you, you try and turn, I'm going to win that ball off you. Whereas Ross Stewart, anytime that ball's came anywhere near him, he's got 1-2 centre halves standing right alongside him just to win the ball back.
Windus with his back to the direction of play, feinted to go to his left, then went to his right, feeds Johnson, high ball in from Johnson, and back across the face of goal. Gregory with a scuffed effort. I don't think he was really anticipating that Hunt was going to pull it back into that area, and it's really hit Gregory, nothing he could do to control it, and it goes wide. But another decent Sheffield Wednesday move at 0-0.
No pressure on the cross. And then Jack Hunt, who's over on the right-hand side, I just wonder whether he should have just got his laces through that. It looked like he tried to side foot it into the back of the net, where he had the opportunity to get a lot of pace and power behind it. But he basically got it wrong, but it's so alarming of how much space the 2 wing-backs are getting, the 2 midfield players just in front of Barry Bannon, who seems to be absolutely everywhere on this football field.
Hunt back at Sheffield Wednesday, rejoining them after 3 years with Bristol City. He got a couple of goals in as many games recently after 150 odd without one. That's a rash challenge from Bannon in the midfield. Pritchard has stayed down. It had a feisty element to it at times on Weir's side on Friday, but it's much closer to the surface and earlier on tonight, and there's finger pointing going on. There have been 2 or 3 separate flashpoints within the course of the game, and the referee is now trying to stamp his authority Byers got a yellow card a couple of minutes ago, and Bannon gets a caution for that challenge on Pritchard.
He probably got that yellow card because of his reaction. I mean, the referee initially just gave the foul. Pritchard it was who just tried to chop the ball onto his right foot. I think Barry Bannon believed he got a bit of contact on the ball, which was why he showed that little bit of frustration. But again, you know, it's Sunderland trying to play out from the back. This time Pritchard does get his foot on the ball, but once he gets his head up, there's nothing there. He has to take another touch, which gives Bannon the opportunity to make the challenge in the first place.
Danny Bart with the free kick, looking for Stewart, headed away on the edge of the Wednesday penalty area, wide out towards Pat Roberts. Roberts has got Gooch in support, lays it back for the American, little 1-2, Gooch trying to get the return ball, and it's an excellent sliding challenge from Windus, who claims that he played it into Gooch and out of play. And the assistant referee on this near touchline concurs. Goal kick, really good defending.
Yeah, good defending, but I'm still surprised if it was a goal kick. It looked like the last bit of contact came off Windass. Full credit to him, working back and helping out his defenders. Better from Lyndon Gooch, trying to get himself in a forward, more advanced position. But when he does get there, I want to see that quality.
James Lennington increasingly involved, the referee, doing his best to let it flow where he can. Throw to Sunderland. Gooch into the feet of Stewart. Back to O'Nien in the midfield, and now out towards Sirkin. Sirkin finds Jack Clark, who can turn. Sliding challenge comes in from Luongo, which is appreciated by a Wednesday fan right behind us. Gooch now down towards Roberts, and Roberts will dart in, trying to get the better of Johnson. Can't beat him. Luongo sliding in, still Roberts is able to maintain possession. Stewart drops deep, links up with the dark-haired O'Nien, down towards Gooch. Gooch for the fair-haired Pritchard, coming in from the number 10 position. Luongo following him, a little bit of space for Roberts, who tries to get his way around Hutchinson, who was judged to have clipped him. And it's a free kick to Sunderland, just right of centre, about 15 yards outside the penalty area, as they look to double their aggregate advantage. Slowly beginning to get a foothold into the game now, the Black Cats. It's 0-0 on the night and 1-0 Sunderland on aggregate.
Well, it's taken them, 29 minutes to do so. I think the most lively player for Sunderland has been Patrick Roberts, but I want to see him more in a wider position on this right-hand side, giving himself a 1v1 situation. Every time he picks the ball up, he's running in towards the 18-yard box, and he's running into bodies. He's done well on a couple of occasions, but I just want to see that end product from him.
So Pritchard again, taking it, sweeping it very deep. One Sunderland player fell over. I think it was Clark, and then it was too deep a delivery in the end for Bart, and goes out of play for a goal kick. And they've just played their way out from the back. Peacock Farrell to Hutchison, who chips it over a Sunderland player from inside his own area for Johnson. He tries to work it down the line, and Luongo's going to chase after it, and it just goes over the dead ball line and out of play for a goal kick. Although the presence of Luongo forced Patterson to at least come to try and meet it. The referee has pulled play back and has said that the pass down that Wednesday touchline actually just curved over the line and out of play. So rather than being a Sunderland goal kick, it is a throw some 65 yards upfield, which they'll take in Sheffield Wednesday territory with Lyndon Gooch. 0-0 the scoreline. Stewart drops a long way deep, wanted the ball into feet. He took Harley Dean with him. Gooch waves him away, throws it in towards Pritchard instead. High ball forward, headed away by Story, and then headed on through the midfield by Luongo, brought down by Evans. Evans to Sirkin and out to Clark. Sirkin will make his way then forward down the left-hand side, the former Tottenham man, but Clark goes the other way instead. Man on loan from Leeds, finding Pritchard, another with Premier League experience. And here's another, Roberts, towards the edge of the penalty area. Just didn't get the weight on the pass right. Hutchinson can bring it away, and the former Chelsea player concedes a throw. It's come off Gooch, and a little low five from his manager Alex Neil for a good piece of defending. It's a Sunderland throw, and Wednesday at the moment restricted to the amount of possession they're having, and Sunderland having the ball in better areas, more advanced areas upfield at the moment.
Yeah, they certainly are. They've started to push the full-backs a little bit further forward and more advanced, which has given the forward players a better opportunity because they've got options. Patrick Roberts yet again picking the ball up, but again his final ball. A little simple 5-yard pass into the 18-yard area. Ross Stewart stood there, but he's given the defender the opportunity to just nick his foot in front and win the ball back for his team.
Patterson gets it clear from inside his own penalty area with TalkSport. League One playoff semi-final second leg in South Yorkshire, 0-0. Jim Proudfoot and Mickey Gray talking through the action from Hillsborough tonight. There's still just a little bit of fine rain in the air. Sunderland in possession. Evans for Dennis Sirkin. Back he goes for Bart, and now to Wright. Wright playing the ball forward into the feet of Corey Evans in the midfield. Evans, who made more than 200 appearances for Blackburn, the younger brother of Johnny Evans. Played out towards the Sunderland left-hand side again. Sirkin and Clark combining and coming inside the penalty area. A shot that was well blocked by Story. Volley cleared by Byers through the midfield for Wednesday. Windus trying to hold it up. He had the Sunderland player right behind him, and a foul has been given against Danny Bart. Free kick to Sheffield Wednesday, 10 yards inside their own half. 0-0.
It's clever playing from Josh Windass. He knows that Danny Bart stood behind him. He hasn't got any support helping him out. He's got to hold on to the ball, shields it really well, and I think that's very good centre forward play.
Bannon taking the free kick and pinging it down the right hand side of the penalty area for the run of Hunt, who's got it and takes it down towards the corner flag. He can't win a corner, but he can win a throw right down by the corner flag on the Sheffield Wednesday right, the far side of the ground in front of the north stand. Bannon has it again. So much more freedom in the midfield than he had in the first leg. Ball inside the penalty area here. Gregory going up for it. It needed defending, and it's come off right and gone out of play for a Wednesday corner.
Well, I think it's a good job that it went wide, because Patterson was stood. He was on his flat foot, and he just basically watched it drift by that right-hand post there. But it's Barry Bannon starting to grow into the game, working it onto his left foot. He's making space for himself, and if he starts to dictate this game, then watch out, Sunderland. You can see they're dropping deeper and deeper and deeper, and it's when the midfield players get it, they're getting turned and they're trying to play it in behind Sunderland, and on more occasions than not, they're getting in behind them.
Great ovation for Bannon. It's 309th Wednesday game as he makes his way towards the corner quadrant, swings this ball in. It's half clear towards the edge of the area, held back in. Oh, the head kick on target would have been spectacular from Byers. Actually a relatively routine stop from Patterson, who just had to take a step to his left-hand side, caught it head height, but the technique to get the overhead kick in was absolutely immaculate from George Byers there.
Fantastic. What an opportunity for Byers there. He had his back to play. All he could do was do the bicycle kick. He got it absolutely spot on, but unfortunately for him, Anthony Patterson was in the right place at the right time, and let's hope that settles the nerves of the Sunderland goalkeeper, because he's looked really nervy with his feet. Anytime the ball comes back to him, he wants to get rid of it. It's spilled over the top of his laces on one occasion. This time he gets to hold on to that one with his hands. I think, does that play against you sometimes, Jim? If you're not playing well, being so young, being the number one goalkeeper, I think you need to try and get that early touch. So let's hope that settles him a little bit.
Oh, it was a cynical barge there from 09, just given a free kick away, and Bannon takes it, left-footed, swept inside the area, and another Wednesday header, but it goes over the bar from Harley Dean. Remains 0-0. Byers has got to keep a lid on his temper after that foul by 09, and he was a little bit lucky maybe to escape a yellow card, but Byers just went in there and they went chest to chest. Byers is already on a yellow. It's got the feeling of a game that might not be 11 against 11 at the end of the night.
Well, Byers and Bannon have got themselves in the book already, Jim, and the more that the game goes on and the more that Sheffield Wednesday have to wait to get that equalising goal, players start to get frustrated. You start doing rash challenges, you jump into tackles, and it just takes one more mistimed tackle and the referee will be all over it.
Now Stewart is down injured this time. I think that was a genuine coming together in a bid to try and win possession. The play has been quite fragmented. 36 on the clock. There's going to be a lot of stoppage time. You don't often get more than a couple of minutes at the end of the first half, but we may well hear. And Stewart is now lying flat on his back and then rolls over onto his side, and now via his knees he's going to pick himself up without the need for treatment. And Darren Moore and Alex Neil both call their sets of players over towards them. They get some fluid on board, get some instructions on board as well, probably more pertinently.
Well, I mean, I don't understand how the players are able to go across to speak to the managers when Ross Stewart's on the ground. There's no physios coming on to treat the player. He's got himself back to his feet, and the referee's just letting it happen. I mean, we're talking about the flow of the game and how much it's stopped in this first half so far. Jimmy, if there's not 4 or 5 minutes shown on that board at the end of this first half, then I think Sunderland have got away with it a little bit.
Play the restarts with a Sunderland throw taken by Gooch. Stewart's okay. He helps it on. They know 9. Back towards Pritchard. Pritchard looking for Ross Stewart's run, but Hutchinson was able to knock it away, and then Gooch dived in and didn't get anything. Player or man. Windus coming in off the left flank. Luongo. Switch of play from him out towards Hunt, who is taking up some very attacking positions from right wing back. Right-footed ball inside the penalty area. Pritchard had covered a lot of ground in good time to be able to get back and sweep it clear. It goes out of play for a Wednesday throw, which has been taken quickly. And it goes back out towards Hunt again from that throw. Windus with a little layoff. Left-footed ball. Reverse pass inside the penalty area. Looked for Gregory and couldn't find him. 2 Sunderland players and get it clear. Cirkin, the second of them, from the edge of his own penalty area. Bannon mops up. Happy to play the way that he's facing. Goes all the way back to his goalkeeper. Peacock fouls halfway between the edge of his own penalty area and the halfway line when he picks it up. Plays it out towards Dean. And now Dean will get it out towards Story. Space still in the midfield for men in blue and whites. Luongo. Little 1-2 with Windus. Windus continues his run forward. Cirkin able to just toe poke it away out towards the touchline. Clark will try and help it on, but Wednesday win it back over there. And now we'll come forward again with Luongo. Clark made his life difficult, and Evans can bring it away for Sunderland. Pritchard just past the retreating Gregory. It was a close run thing, and Sunderland maintained possession. Gooch back for right. Evans missing Roberts from relatively close range and goes out of play for a Wednesday throw. 0-0.
2 scenarios. Sheffield Wednesday picking the ball up. I can't believe how deep the back line of Sunderland is. It's given Sheffield Wednesday the opportunity to play through the lines. Sunderland then win the ball back. They're getting their head up, they're looking forward, there's nobody to play to, they have to go and play back in their own half, and eventually it's a reverse pass. That has to be a very good pass that they get completely wrong, and this is the problem they've got. If you're going to play with 2 wide players, you've got to play the ball to quality with them, unless they're running in behind the wing back of Sheffield Wednesday. Well, they're not doing that. That's why they keep giving the ball back to Sheffield Wednesday, and the ball keeps coming back into their box.
Wednesday have got it on the right hand side, trying to get inside the penalty area for a potential crossing position. Hunt lost possession. Sunderland get it clear. Peacock Farrell's got it again, and a long left-footed diagonal from him out towards the right-hand touchline, which is helped on, but Cirkin will volley that one back over the top and giving Stewart something to attack. Dean's dealt with him. Now that'll be cleared by Luongo through the Sheffield Wednesday midfield. Bannon by no means the tallest, quite the reverse, but he just won the aerial challenge, and there's a little bit of wrestling between him and his shadow. Luco 9 again there. And Wednesday once more maintaining possession. Still, Sunderland have had fractionally more of it over the course of the game, but it's 5 attempts to 2 in Wednesday's favour up to this point. But of those 5, only one on target, which was the Byers overhead kick that Patterson saved comfortably. 09 brings it forward, just runs into trouble. And Luongo for Sheffield Wednesday gets it quickly out wide towards the right-hand side for Bannon, who's gravitating into that wider area now. Gets a return ball, left-footed shot from him, blocked, hits Pritchard, might break for Windus inside the area. He takes a tumble, no foul. And Sunderland are going to be able to bring it away with Clark. Clark has it again, not for long, because the sliding challenge puts it out of play for a throw. The boos and whistles for the non-award of a penalty Sheffield Wednesday's way.
Sigh of relief if you're a Sunderland defender, because it's a great move again from Sheffield Wednesday, left to right, that lovely spray and diagonal pass. Nice little give and go with Barry Bannon. Play the ball, it got a deflection after his little strike that he got wrong. He's trying to figure out who that defender is from Sunderland who fell to the ground there, but Windass, it looked like he sighed to his feet, so he couldn't actually get away from him. And you can understand Sheffield Wednesday supporters going absolutely crazy. If I'm Alex Neil, Jim, we're on 41 and a half minutes at the moment. He cannot wait to get this side in at half-time to have a word with his players. It's like they've expected them to play as poorly as they did at the Stadium of Light on Friday. It was never going to happen. And Sunderland have turned up, tried to hang on to a goal lead. You cannot do that in a playoff semi-final.
Sirkin's okay and is back on his feet. There have been a couple of instances where players have stayed down after collisions. Let's just say if there were collisions like that on a nightclub dance floor, they wouldn't stay down in the same manner. That's all I'm saying. Ball's played forward. Not that I go to those kinds of nightclubs, or never did.
You can ask me, Jim.
Well, I know you do. That's why you laughed. The ball played forward. You're the perpetrator. Free kick goes Wednesday's way, as you will have gathered. And it's a free kick which will be taken on halfway by Barry Bannon again. Approaching half-time, 2 to go to the break. More live football coming your way Wednesday night. We've got 2 live Premier League games for you. Watford against Everton and Leicester against Norwich. Both kick off at 7:45. Action from Vicarage Road on Talk Sport and from the East Midlands on Talk Sport 2. Bannon with the free kick forward towards the edge of the penalty area. Headed down and well won back by Story. Story to Byers. Byers gets a second bite of the cherry. The first one wasn't a very good one. The second touch is better, and he has forced the error out of the retreating Sunderland defender. I think it was Sirkin again, and it's a corner which will be taken by Bannon over on the Sheffield Wednesday right. 0-0 on the night. It was about this stage of the first half that Sunderland got their goal on Friday. Just a fraction after this. Sunderland looking to get themselves back on level terms on aggregate going into the break. Bannon raises his right arm above his head again. Another left-footed in-swinging delivery. Heads go up for it. Very well shielded, actually, on the right-hand side of the penalty area by the Sunderland defender. Right, letting the ball run across his body, chested it into space and then clears it upfield. Johnson's there first for Wednesday, the left wing back. He sends it back for his goalkeeper. It was an awkward bouncing ball that Peacock Fowler used his experience to deal with effectively. And then as it's played forward, there's another coming together, and it's Bart and Gregory, and the referee says play on.
Not for me, that. I thought it was Gregory looking for the foul rather than Danny Barth standing in his way. He knew he was second best as that long ball got played up to him. But it's a little bit of a breather for Sunderland because the game, Sheffield Wednesday, are just pushing forward, albeit they haven't created too many great opportunities. But they will come. If they keep playing the way they are, you start to get that tired brain, players switch off, and it's the errors. Sirkin there. No, it's simple, just clear your lines. It comes off his foot when he's not even looking at the ball. It goes out for a corner, gives Sheffield Wednesday another chance to put the ball in the Sunderland box.
Luongo for Wednesday. Forward towards Gregory. Nothing more than a fight ball. It was easily dealt with at the back by Wright. Sunderland just work it forward out of harm's way quickly. Roberts will chase as we go into stoppage time. 3 minutes out in it. Could easily have been more than that. Dean. You can hear the reaction of the Wednesday fans as the 3 is shown, and then a challenge by Stewart, and that'll be a yellow card as he caught Johnson. And Ross Stewart's the first Sunderland player to have his name taken.
Stupid foul from Ross Stewart. Ball gets played down the side, right hand side again. Another poor ball from Lyndon Gooch. It's one that forward players have to chase down. Sheffield Wednesday then coolly play out from the back. Lyndon Gooch again selling himself. He's got 30 or 40 yards to make up in the opposition's half. He's got no chance. You can't slow yourself down. Johnson just breezes past him, and Ross Stewart has to then make a foul.
Free kick taken. Swung towards Gregory on the edge of the penalty area. Cleared at the back by Sirkin. Headed down again by Dean to Johnson. Johnson's ball forward. Windus. Fouled by Gooch. Windus, I think, was clever there. Might have bought that. And it's a free kick which will be taken a yard in from the touchline by Sheffield Wednesday. And another opportunity for them to score in first half stoppage time and get it back to 1-1 on aggregate. Another roar of approval for Bannon as he comes forward to take this.
And another chance for that wonderful left foot, Barry Bannon. The last thing you need is to give Sheffield Wednesday an opportunity, a free hit into your box in added on time.
Bannon to take it in towards the near post, headed down a little bit awkwardly. Wednesday player goes down claiming he was being held. It was Byers, I think. Referee says no. Now Dean chesting it down, trying to take it on to get into a shooting position as Sunderland clear. Out for Johnson. Johnson to his right for Hunt. Back for Johnson again. Left-footed ball, chipped over the top inside the penalty area and cleared easily by the Sunderland back line. Brought down by Clark. Clark getting it forward. It's done really well to squeeze it through a tight, congested midfield area to pick out Pritchard. And now played up the Sunderland right-hand side into the chest of Roberts. Roberts turning it round the corner, looking for Pritchard. Only found Bannon, survives the handball shout. Johnson slides in and gets it clear. And Sunderland should just calm things down now with the ball in the hands of Patterson, and the 3 minutes of stoppage time almost up.
Thank goodness for that. No, but look, it has not been a good 45 minutes from the Sunderland perspective. I mean, travelling 2,000 supporters, they want something to cheer, and they just had nothing. There's been no flow in the football. I don't think they put 4 or 5 passes together in the whole of the first half, whereas Sheffield Wednesday are getting a foot on the ball. They're looking for forward players, trying to play in Sunderland's half as much as they possibly can, albeit still waiting for that little bit of quality to get themselves back on level terms.
And there's the half-time whistle. And the boos from the Sheffield Wednesday supporters aren't aimed at their team, who have been pretty good. 50% of the ball, 3 times as many attempts as Sunderland, and the only one on target. No sign, though, of the breakthrough. Sunderland perfectly entitled to try and manage the game as they see fit. It's all about getting the result and getting to Wembley for that League One final against Wickham. Sunderland are 45 minutes away at the moment. It's the referee that is getting the boos as he comes off the field. Half-time, Sheffield Wednesday 0, Sunderland 0, 1-0 the Black Cats on aggregate still. Sheffield Wednesday, Peacock, Farrell in goal, Story, Dean and Hutchinson, Hunt, Byers, Luongo and Johnson, Bannon in support of Gregory and Windus, with Byers and Bannon in the book. Sunderland, Patterson in goal, Gooch, Wright, Barton, Sirkin, O'Neill and Evans, Roberts, Pritchard and Clark, and Stewart, who has also been cautioned up front. Sunderland are in possession. And it's gone out of play for a throw which will be taken on their left-hand side. They're kicking from right to left in this second half. Wednesday, blue and white striped shirts, thin striped shirts and black shorts, and they're kicking towards the Kop, away to our right-hand side, packed to the rafters, a sea of blue and white over there. And Sunderland in thicker red and white striped shirts are kicking towards the end of the ground, the Leppings Lane end, the west stand here at Hillsborough that houses the Sunderland supporters. 2,000 of them. They sold their allocation, as you would expect, making the journey down to South Yorkshire tonight. And Sunderland on the back foot the start of this second half, with Jack Clark sliding in. First corner of the second period, as indeed all 3 of the corners in the first period, has gone Wednesday's way. Bannon's going to come across to take it, and the assistant referee near side just leaning over him, saying something into the ear of Barry Bannon as he spots the ball down. A very congested 6-yard box. Bannon clipping it in. It's a Sunderland header, a good one. Got it away outside the penalty area. Falls for Johnson. Johnson playing it back in, down towards Bannon. That one is cleared and will be chased after on the left-hand touchline by Roberts, who might get the better of Hunt, and he does emerge with the ball at his feet, and then he plays it back for Pritchard, who was caught right in front of Darren Moore by Luongo. And the Sheffield Wednesday manager didn't like the decision at all. It's a Sunderland free kick about 3 yards inside the Wednesday half. 0-0, 2 gone second half.
Just limping a little bit there, Pritchard. Roberts done ever so well, he just cleared his lines, but the ball actually stayed in play, chased after his own clearance, and he done very well to actually keep it in play. But it's the same scenario as what we had in the first half, where Sunderland is early stages of the second half for sure, but they're just clearing the lines. They have to try and get a stranglehold in this game and get somebody out there who can put their foot on the ball and just calm everybody down.
Well, in the last 14 games, they have kept 8 clean sheets and only conceded 7. Under Alex Neil, they've conceded only half as many goals per game as they did under his predecessor Lee Johnson. It's all about results at this stage of the season, and it doesn't make for a particularly edifying spectacle, it has to be said. But I reiterate the point I made in the first half. I'm a Sunderland fan. I've got no problem with this whatsoever. It's a results business, and if this is the way that you stand most chance of getting to the playoff final, I would want my team to play the same way. It makes it tough to watch, yeah, but needs must at times. Wednesday bring it away. Byers gets it forward, couldn't find Windus. It's knocked away by Sirkin, and it goes over Clark's head, now to play for a Sheffield Wednesday throw midway inside the right half. 3 gone second period, still 1-0 Sunderland on aggregate.
Jim, look, I'm on the same page as you. You know, you've got to try and upset that flow of Sheffield Wednesday. There's no doubt in my mind you have to do that.
Story just caught in possession by Stewart, and that means that Sunderland get their first corner, which will be taken on the left flank 4 minutes into the second period.
Yeah, an opportunity now for Sunderland. I think it's Pritchard who's coming over to take this corner on the right hand side. A mistake from Sheffield Wednesday. Just give Sunderland the first opportunity to put the ball in that area. And it's interesting because that first game there was a few different setups. They were all at the near post on a few corners. They look as if they're all at the back stick around about the penalty area now. So it's Pritchard in towards the feet on the edge of the edge. Brilliantly worked. It'll come out on the right hand side of the box for Clark, who's played it wide. Well, it was clever. It was just the execution that didn't quite come off. It was taken short, just rolled inside the penalty area. One pass towards the edge of the box, which was actually blocked, but it fell for Clark. Snatched at it, dragged it wide of the near post, but very inventive set piece. Yeah, I like that. We were all waiting for the ball to go into the area. Clever play. They've obviously something that they've worked on. And look, in a game you get one opportunity for that corner to happen for your side, because if you do it 2 times, the team that you're playing against, they're going to know exactly what's going on. It has to go down as a good opportunity for Sunderland.
Windus wins the throw. It's come off Sirkin. Hunt in his yellow boots galloping forward, wanted to take it quickly, realised that there was nothing on, so just held up. Rather take a good throw than a quick one. Got it in towards Luongo. He turned it forward, trying to get Windus in behind Sirkin, and got the pass all wrong, and it drifts out of play. At what stage do you think that either manager will be looking to make changes? Sheffield Wednesday have got Patterson on the bench. They've got Mendes, Lang and Berahino there as well, attack-minded players that they might want to be able to bring on.
Yeah, well, we talked about Berahino and he looked dead on his feet in that first game, so maybe the last 20 minutes of the game you're probably looking at him if things haven't changed for Sheffield Wednesday. Maybe even put an extra forward player on, knowing that you've got to try and get yourself back into the tie. I look at Matete. Embleton is a player who can put his foot on the ball. Certainly Matete in that midfield area is a calming influence. I was quite surprised he actually didn't start this game, so there's certainly 2 players from a Sunderland perspective.
Black Cats trying to get forward again into the penalty area. Stewart chasing after it. Ball played forward. Foul, or was it an offside against Gregory? Is a Sunderland free kick either way. Sunderland in their 7th playoff campaign, their 3rd in the last 4 seasons. They've reached 3 finals but lost them all. 3 semi-final defeats as well, including Lincoln last season. Lost to Charlton in the final in 2019 where they conceded in the 94th minute. It's not an illustrious playoff history that they've got, but will they be able to make it through to face Wickham in the final? But we will bring you on Talk Sport week Saturday, 21st of May from Wembley. Patterson, the Sunderland keeper, clears it, left-footed, high-spinning ball forward over halfway, which Story heads down. Player on loan from Preston. Then it's headed forward again by Dean, player on loan from Birmingham. It's a real mix-and-match side that Darren Moore has assembled here, but what an effective one for Wednesday. Clark. Challenge comes in from Luongo, and he's judged to have caught Jack Clark. I'm not sure Clark necessarily anticipated he was going to get a free kick for that, but James Livington, the referee, has given one Sunderland's way. It's another chance to come up with something a little bit out of the ordinary here as the big guys make their way forward towards the edge of the penalty area.
A bit of a relieved man to win that foul because they were going nowhere yet again, Sunderland. I think Alex Neil's philosophy, Jim, since he walked through the door, is trying to play out from the back. Well, I've yet to see that at all in this game, but as you said there, the time's ticking. It's still 0-0. They're getting the job done so far.
Pritchard took the free kick, worked it through the midfield. Roberts back for Pritchard again, and inside left, now down towards Clark on the left-hand side of the penalty area. Pritchard had dropped off into space and gets the return ball. Clark might be able to work the angle, but there are too many Wednesday players between him and goal. Left-footed ball in from Sirkin. Took a little skippy bounce in front of Peacock Farrell, but he did well to make sure that his handling was assured with Stewart bearing down on him, and he bowls it out quickly.
Do you know, that was a cross, Jim, where they'd had 4 or 5 passes over on the left-hand side, and it fell to Sirkin eventually. And it was like, I don't know what to do with this, I'm just going to put it in the area. There was no thought about it whatsoever. You know, do I play it to the near post, or do I whip one to the back stick? It was just, please, just go anywhere near that 6-yard area. You've got to show a bit of quality in that final third, and that was not it.
Wednesday starting the night with 90 minutes to find a goal. For parity on aggregate. They've now only got 36 minutes to find it. Time ticking, as Mickey says. You're listening to Sheffield Wednesday against Sunderland in the EFL League One. It's live on TalkSport with McDonald's Fun Football. Search McDonald's Fun Football to find out more. Patterson in no hurry to get the ball upfield. When he does, it's a little flatter than perhaps he anticipated. Evans helping it on, Pritchard trying to help it on as well. He goes through for Peacock Farrell at the other end. Dean then making a mess of getting it away for Sheffield Wednesday, but he's managed to flick it off Clark and out of play for a throw that Wednesday will take midway inside their own half.
Yeah, 2 occasions Harley Dean not being able to play out from the back. He's tried to play to his wing back, the pass is not being on, he started to panic a little bit, gives the opportunity of Sunderland forward players to try and close him down. That's better. Well, you can see this right-hand side, they're trying to use it a lot. I mean, just as we're looking right now, if they get the opportunity, Sheffield Wednesday, after 1 or 2 passes, you can see Johnson in acres of space over on the left-hand side.
And when Mickey says acres, he means literally, without fear of exaggeration, 25 yards of space to himself. Wednesday will try and find him now with Hutchinson's header. Johnson, because the header wasn't particularly strong, had to come back in from that advantageous position on the left flank into a more packed midfield area. Sunderland win the seconds, and Roberts has it on the right hand side of the box, and he's just trying to stand the cross over towards the far post. Hunt not too sure who was where, got a left foot to it, helped it away from Clark, and out of play for a Sunderland corner.
Well, it's better getting into good areas on the right hand side. We talked about the quality that Roberts has got with that left or right foot. He puts a nice ball into the area, waiting for centre forwards, just a burst of good to try and get on the end of it. Was a little bit too far away from Ross Stewart, but they win themselves a corner.
Bannon's going to take it, just given the word of advice by one of the Sunderland substitutes warming up down by him. So Pritchard to swing this in, right-footed in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Good goalkeeping from Peacock Farrell. Came out, got a right fist to it to knock it away. Out towards the far side for Evans. Evans runs round it. High ball play back forward. Danny Bart still forward, but he tried to divert the ball into the path of Stewart with a header that he got wrong, got the angle wrong, and it just went far too close to the goalkeeper. He's punted it forward long at the other end, where Wednesday will try and guide it on from Gregory to Windus, and then Clark goes down, and he's been caught by Gregory, and it's another free kick to Sunderland inside their own half, and Gregory just gets calmed down by the referee. A free kick to Sunderland again, in no hurry to take it as we approach the hour mark. 0-0 on the night at Hillsborough.
Oh, what a punt forward that was from Peacock Farrell, from the goalkeeper. And it looked as if it caught the back line of Sunderland on the hop a little bit. It looked like Gregory was just going to run in behind them. Eventually won themselves a foul here. I'm just having a look to my left-hand side as well, Jim. I mean, I don't think those seats are getting much use, are they, in the Sunderland end? I think everybody is on their feet, trying to urge something in this second half from this Sunderland side.
Tomorrow morning from 8 o'clock, Darren Bent will be with Laura Woods and Ali McCoist, who start at 6. And the guests on the breakfast show tomorrow, Joel Veltman of Brighton and the Netherlands, Sam Allardyce, the former Sunderland, Everton and England manager, and many others as well. Their thoughts on everything that has happened tonight, looking ahead to what's coming up, including the FA Cup final, which is live on TalkSport for you a Saturday tea time. Following us tonight, it's your chance to have your say on National Radio on the Sports Bar. Perry Groves alongside Jason Cundy tonight. No 3717 223344 is the number. Get your calls in, have your say on National Radio straight after the game. Another free kick for Sunderland. And again, the time-wasting tactics coming to the fore. It's up to the officials to take note of exactly how much time is being wasted and added on. Pritchard taking the free kick. Swung towards the corner of the penalty area. He was looking for Stewart. Windus chases after the clearance. Pritchard's going to be there first with the aid of Barton. Will play it down to the left-hand side for Clark. And Clark away from Windus, and now trying to get away from Luongo, and still he goes inside the penalty area, and still he goes Jack Clark, trying to work the angle for a shot. It's gone way back outside the box, but tees up Roberts, whose left-footed effort is saved by the diving Peacock Farrell.
Great opportunity, fantastic run from Clark over on this left-hand side. Looked as if he was going to be negative and go back into his own half. He got it onto his right foot, got away from his 2 or 3 markers. He was trying to get his shot away, just couldn't find that half a yard. Eventually plays the ball to Roberts, who did get his strike away. Super strike, probably in the whole of the game Sunderland's best move.
Well, no surprise the way the game has panned out tonight, really, as being quite a tight, fractious affair with few opportunities. I think we saw enough on Friday night to assess that this second leg was going to be very similar to that. Although Sheffield Wednesday have been much more involved in the game. It's been a better performance from Darren Moore's men tonight than it was at Sunderland, with some resolute, stout defending. It is one of those nights where it's going to be a rare opportunity, a moment of magic that is going to be able to get Sheffield Wednesday back in the game. Sunderland desperately try to keep it as sterile as possible, but Hunt will chase and keep it in on the right-hand side. Now he's got time to measure the cross, fires it inside the penalty area. It's going to be cleared by O'Nien, and he will work it away towards halfway. I think Sheffield Wednesday aren't, if they are going to be able to get the job done tonight, you would imagine it's going to be through extra time. I don't think they're going to garner a 2-goal advantage from here. But here's Clark as Sunderland look for a 2-goal advantage on aggregate. Clark increasingly involved. Cleverly works it to his right for Stewart to Roberts. Roberts with an effort that was well blocked by Storey, and he goes out of play for a corner. Roberts felt that it should be a penalty, that Storey had slid him with his arm up and that the ball had hit that, but it is a corner that has been given.
Well, there's so much space on the left-hand side. Sunderland worked the ball really well. But when the ball eventually falls to Ross Stewart in the 18-yard box, if I've got 25 goals this season, I'm getting that out of my feet and I'm taking the shots on. He went for the easier option. He's played it to Roberts on his weaker right foot, a tighter angle. Show the confidence to everybody. You know, take the strike on if you're a centre forward.
Only now does Pritchard get to the corner flag in readiness to take this corner. I mean, it's a very transparent, time-wasting tactic from Sunderland. Boy, are they good at it. Even to the extent that, and in fairness to Pritchard here, I think something has been thrown at him, and so he has walked away from the situation. This isn't time waste. He's perfectly entitled to do that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It was something that we saw at the stadium a light when I think it was a Sheffield Wednesday player came across to take a corner.
Yeah, it was bad. Something was thrown at Bannon.
Yeah, we don't want to see that, and he's done the right thing, Pritchard.
So now he'll take the corner in towards the near post, and he's only found Bannon. He's just passed it to him, basically. Bannon can take a touch and get it away, but he can't find Windus upfield, and it's out of play for a Sunderland throw, which will be taken on the far side. Just going to count how many seconds it takes for the ball to go out of play before the throw is taken.
Jim, they're going to carry on doing it. If the referee's not going to do anything about it, and he's not going to wave play on, the Sunderland players are going to keep playing on it. As you mentioned there before, they are ticking time away, trying to get themselves into the final. The referee has let it get away from him. He did in the first half. There was too much time wasting, probably more so from the goalkeeper, but every player seems to be doing it now.
There was 19 seconds that time. The ball's gone out. Back to Peacock Farrell. He gets it clear upfield. Chested down on the left-hand side of the back line for Wednesday, and Johnson's going to be able to bring it forward. And he'll continue his run as well. Well, just try and go up through the gears. He's won a corner, which is only Wednesday's second of this second half.
A super play from Johnson on that left-hand side. He's got fantastic pace. It looked like it was Lyndon Gucci was running alongside him, and he was panicking a little bit. He eventually went to ground with a little nudge, give the corner away. But this is a little bit of a surge from Sheffield Wednesday.
So Luongo stands on the edge of the penalty area. Hutchison, Story and Dean, the three centre-halves, all inside the box, making differing runs towards the edge of the 6. Story went up for it, got his head to it, guides it down for Windus. Back out towards the left-hand side for Bannon. Now another chance to deliver. Right-footed ball in towards the near post and headed over the bar by Story. Out of play for a goal kick. 27 minutes for Sunderland to hang on. 27 minutes for Wednesday to find the goal that would take this to extra time.
What a chance. They worked it really well. Windass puts a nice ball into the area, but Story has to do better. He gets the leap on his marker. He's got to try and get above the ball. He's got to keep it below the crossbar. And it's a let-off. It really is a let-off. Look, it's been a scrappy game. You're waiting for that one great opportunity. I think the disappointing thing for me is in both ties, two fantastic crowds came for entertainment and they've not really had it.
Evans to Pritchard down to the left-hand side for Sirkin, and Luongo will be able to clear. I'll tell you something, one of the fan bases won't care one iota. We don't know which one it is yet, but one of them simply won't care at all. It's just about getting to Wembley. Here's Pritchard on the left-hand touchline. Back for Hunt. Story. Oh, Story's back pass. He found Peacock Farrell just, but he played it blind, and the goalkeeper, I don't think, was anticipating it going there. Stewart read the script much more quickly than Peacock Farrell, and he very nearly got in a position to either block the pass or close the clearance down. And that was reminiscent yesterday of Aylington Melier at Arsenal, but they got away with it. And it's out of play for a throw.
Goodness me. I mean, what are you doing as a centre-half, playing the ball back to your goalkeeper there without enough pace on it? You go back to that first game, the mistake, it was a little bit different to that, yes, granted, but the last thing you want is your goalkeeper having to panic to clear his lines and putting pressure on your goalkeeper. You want to just have an easy evening if you possibly can. If you're Peacock Farrell, have a word with your players, because they've started to make defensive mistakes, Sheffield Wednesday. That's 3 I can count now, and they've all come when there's been no pressure on the ball, no pressure on the player.
Well, they won these playoffs back in 2005. They beat Hartlepool by 4-2. They've never lost a playoff tie here at Hillsborough. That record might be maintained tonight, but they've got to win this one. Windus, right-footed ball inside the 6-yard box, and it hits the covering defender Gooch and goes wide. Good defending in the end, because he stopped Gregory getting on the end of it, but that was just about the most perceptive cross of the night. It was a really good ball in, and Gooch maybe got a little bit lucky. It hit him and could easily have gone the other side of the post and in for an own goal. Patterson and Mendes-Lang will be on in a moment for Wednesday. A double change imminent. In comes the corner, looking for Dean. Half cleared. Back into the fray from Johnson. And Patterson acrobatically saves a header which comes in from the edge of the 6-yard box. It's been a clash of heads. Keeper stayed down. A clash of heads further towards the edge of the 6-yard box, involving one player from each side, and that's going to have to be attended to. And Wednesday will just make sure that everyone's okay before they make this double change. But Mendes-Lang and Patterson are the two players that Darren Moore's going to be bringing on.
As these players have just sat down on the ground, it gives us a little bit of a breather, because what a ball. Absolutely fantastic ball into the area from Josh Windass. He worked it well onto his right foot. It had pace, it had whip. The goalkeeper could not come for it. And you're right, Lyndon Gooch just turned his head as if to pray that it was going to just bypass him, and it came off his leg and it nearly slotted into that bottom corner. Relief for the Sunderland fullback. But they're the opportunities. This is what Sheffield Wednesday have been waiting for, getting themselves on the front foot, turning this back line of Sunderland, showing that bit of quality, and still searching for that equalising goal.
Well, Alex Neil knows what it takes to get through a playoff campaign. He's done it twice in his playing days. Done it with Hamilton as a manager in 2014. He did it with Norwich in 2015, winning promotion. Can he lead Sunderland back into the Championship after 4 seasons in League One? Wednesday hoping to get back up at the first attempt. Players from both sides still down injured, and the respective medical staff unfortunately are screening our view of the two players. Lyndon Gooch it is, he's on the floor. The Wednesday player involved has got blood coming from his head. And that's why Wednesday haven't made the change yet, because they need to make sure that he's okay to continue before making a double change. And the stretcher is just being helped on in quite a pedestrian manner by 4 yellow-clad St John's ambulance workers, and just make their way on now, just in case. Just having a look around the Wednesday players, just trying to see who it is. It's Sam Hutchinson, who is back on his feet. Is he going to be able to continue? He's waving at the crowd, which is a good sign. I tell you something though, he doesn't look good as he walks off. He's able to leave the field under his own steam, but he doesn't look as though he knows what night of the week it is.
Well, Jim, he's getting help to come across to the sideline here, and he looks like he needs the help.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a clash of heads. Look, there was no malice in the challenge whatsoever, but he does not look right. And I think this might be one of those changes that Sheffield Wednesday had to wait for, because he's found himself in that with his big problem.
Well, concussion protocol is there for a reason. I'm no doctor, and we're 60 yards away. They can't let him carry on.
No,
he's okay. He's going down the tunnel, and he'll be able to get the treatment that he needs down there, and our very best wishes go to him. He's had the head wound bandaged up, so Liam Palmer's going to be coming on, and this will be a concussion sub. And so there's just a little bit of thinking going on in terms of the double change that they have planned. So Palmer for Hutchinson is going to be the first change. No one quite sure exactly what is happening. That will be the first one. Mendes Lang is going to come on at this juncture as well, though Patterson has sat back down. So will be a double change. Hutchinson clearly the first player to be replaced, and Mendes Lang is going to come on. I wonder who he is going to be coming on for. Barrel-chested winger who's got an excellent turn of pace, and he's going to be replacing Jack Hunt. So I don't know whether they're going to change the shape and go to a 4, whether they'll then play Palmer at right back in a 4, although he has gone out to Hutchinson's position on the left of 3 centre-halves at the moment. And it looks as though it might be a straight swap. Mendes Lang for Hunt at right wing back, which is a role that he has played at times this season as well. So they're keeping the shape for now, and play will resume, and the ball being dropped at the feet of the goalkeeper Patterson, who picks it up and now gets it out towards the right hand side. 20 minutes to go. It's a lengthy stoppage, so there's going to be a fair bit of stoppage time. There would have been anyway, but even more stoppage time now. Ball headed away by Story for Sheffield Wednesday on the end of his edge of his own penalty area, and he goes out of play for a throw that Sunderland will take on the right hand side. We're in the 71st minute at Hillsborough, 0-0, and Ross Stewart's goal on Friday night still the difference between the two teams on aggregate. Yeah,
I just thought there might have been a little bit of a change in system for Sheffield Wednesday there, Jim. Maybe it would have been if Patterson came onto the field. That physical presence up front because of the injury to Hutchinson. They've had to shuffle the pack a little bit. Liam Palmer playing in a different position to what he did on Friday. I think it just shows his versatility. I mean, he's got the talent to do it, there's no question about it, but it gives Mendes Lang an opportunity over on this right hand side to show us what he's all about.
Yeah, Palmer, right wing back in the first leg, left centre half in the second. As a substitute, gets his first touch here and heads the ball back to his goalkeeper. It's his 345th game for Sheffield Wednesday tonight. Liam Palmer, who's doubled his career goal tally this season from 2 to 4. Only 12 years since he made his Wednesday debut. The Owls are on the front foot here. Cross takes a deflection. Patterson stops it going out of play for a corner and collapses on the ball just to waste a few more seconds, as he's entitled to do. Bounces it once, twice, 3 times towards the penalty spot. Now a 4th and a 5th and a 6th. And then throws it, throw-in style, forward towards Bailey Wright. Right, forward towards Roberts. Not the brightest floodlights here at Hillsborough, and it's the darkness certainly taken effect as night has fallen here in South Yorkshire. Just a little bit gloomy out there. 18 minutes to go. 18 minutes of Sheffield Wednesday's season to go, unless they can score. Another Sunderland throw. More wrath from the fans as the time ticks down. Clearance from Palmer, headed back through the midfield by Danny Barr. Now towards the far side, now it's a Wednesday throw. Taken back for Dean. Dean taking a touch on the edge of the D. To his right-hand side for Story. Sunderland, to their credit, have very effectively restricted a number of chances that Sheffield Wednesday have created. The good possession that they've had periods of the game where they've had a stranglehold, but they haven't been consistent by any stretch of the imagination, although they have been better in the second leg than they were in the first, bar the last 15 minutes of that first leg last week. Ball play for, Palmer heads it away, off balance, a diving header that goes into space. Bannon tries to get there, and there's a handball by the advancing 09, and a free kick which will be taken by Wednesday just outside their own penalty area by Bannon. 17 to go, 0-0.
Well, Luke O'Nien yet again alongside Barry Bannon. I mean, just Sheffield Wednesday is just on the attack here, but I don't know whether it's going to be a dream or a nightmare, but at the minute, Luke O'Nien, I think the only thing you've seen for the last week and a half is Barry Bannon.
Here is Bannon. Oh, it's a great ball. Roll down the left-hand side of the 6-yard box and tapped in. Gregory scores for Sheffield Wednesday. Hillsborough erupts. They're back on level terms. 1-0 to the Owls on the night. 1-1 on aggregate. A giant inflatable banana makes its way through the commentary position. Ecstasy from the Yorkshire folk around us, and it's all tied up on aggregate at 1 apiece. What a ball from Bannon to make it. Johnson with a cross, Gregory couldn't miss, and it's 1-0 to Sheffield Wednesday.
Well, as I just mentioned, I think that dream has just turned into a nightmare for Luke O'Nien. Probably the first time in the whole of the tie that he's let Barry Bannon get away from him. I mean, it's a super pass to the byline, and Lee Gregory just gets himself into that 6-yard area. He gets away from his marker. He's just got to make contact with it. All of the pace is on the ball. He gets across and he just sticks that ball into the back of the net, and you just listen to that Hillsborough support. The lights are, I don't know if it's on their phones or something, but doesn't that look absolutely incredible? But this place has just erupted. Incredible scenes.
Ticker tape, inflatables, smoke bombs. Now literally 2,500 phones have their lights on being waved. So atmospheric. But on the top tier at the Leppings Lane end, almost silence from the Sunderland supporters who stand there. And the aggregate lead, which lasted for almost exactly 2 hours, has now evaporated. 1-0 to Sheffield Wednesday, 1-1 on aggregate, and that means that the most significant moment of the tie as a whole still lies ahead of us. 15 minutes away now from extra time. Jack Clark's got it for Sunderland, but he's going towards his own penalty area. Gets away from Mendes Lang's challenge. Now takes it on. He's passed 2 challenges, and he was agriculturally stopped in the midfield by Harley Dean. And that's an easy decision for James Linnington. Yellow card. Great run from Clark, that.
At one point, I didn't know where he was actually going. It looked like he was going to try and score an own goal. But he must have kept hold of that ball for about 15 seconds, skipped by 2 or 3 Sheffield Wednesday players. Harley Dean eventually pulls him down. But just listen to this now. This is what they've been waiting for. That moment to erupt like they are doing now. And this is why their home record is so fantastic. They get themselves into a position now, and the way the game has gone, Sunderland tried to upset the flow. Well, they can't do that anymore. They've got to go for the jugular in these final 13 minutes of added on time, on normal time, before we go to extra time. It's going to be so interesting to see who comes out on top.
Patterson for Windus, a Wednesday change. Just listen to the atmosphere. They're believing it, the Wednesday fans, that it could be theirs. Pritchard, though, for Sunderland inside the penalty area. He's fired it wide. Did he get a deflection? No. Goal kick which Peacock Farrell will take. 78 minutes gone. and it's Sheffield Wednesday 1, Sunderland 0. Now home form, the best in the division. They've beaten Wigan and the Dons and Sunderland, and the whole place is bouncing. Away to our right on the Kop, the Wednesday fans just bobbing up and down almost as one. This really is a special atmosphere. All the semi-finals that we've seen over the last week or so, this one, in terms of quality, in terms of it being a footballing spectacle, it hasn't been great. In terms of the atmosphere, it's right up there with anything we've seen.
Absolutely incredible, Jim.
It's a third division game.
Yeah.
Boy, does it matter.
It's a special look. It's got special history, this football club. They want to get themselves back into that championships. Look, there's still a long way to go, but listen to that. They were jumping up and down to our right-hand side in the Kop end and the opposite stadium to stand where we are. It was just fantastic to see. They've been waiting for that moment. When that moment came, they held it in, and everybody just erupted into celebrations. Brilliant to see.
Well, another impromptu drinks break here, because a little bit of treatment is being administered to one of the Sunderland players. Is it Bright, I think? It's outside the penalty area, and he's having a cut attended to. And so the players came up to the near side and spoke to their respective managers and took some fluid on board, and then got some instructions for how this might pan out. You can't hear yourself think.
I mean, you can watch championship games for as long as the day is. You can actually go to Premier League stadiums. You don't get that. That is something else.
There's going to be a lot of stoppage time. We've got 10 minutes to go. It could be 7-8 minutes, so plenty of time for either side yet to still be able to turn this 1-1 aggregate scoreline into their advantage and a place at Wembley. While he receives treatment, let me remind you of the football that's coming up. Wednesday night, Watford-Everton, with Adrian in the chair, Sam Matterface and Kevin Campbell, with all the action from Vicarage Road, including updates from Wolves Man City and Leeds Chelsea. On TalkSport 2 Wednesday night, we've got Leicester against Norwich with Ollie Clinton, Courtney Sweetman Kirk. Friday night, first leg of the Championship playoff semi-final. Kenilworth Road, the venue for Luton against Huddersfield, and the second leg of that is this time next week. Saturday, Sheffield United's playoff against Nottingham Forest. Some game that will be. 3 o'clock kick-off Saturday afternoon. Chelsea-Liverpool in the FA Cup final, 4:45, with Andy Townsend alongside me at Wembley Saturday. Mansfield-Northampton, the League 2 playoff semi-final, first leg Saturday evening. Sunday we got Spurs-Burnley for you on TalkSport at 12, and Swindon-Port Vale on TalkSport 2. Then Leeds-Brighton and Villa-Palace as well. It's all coming your way. That's not even a week's worth of live football on the TalkSport network, and your chance to react tonight to everything that's happened this evening on the Sports Bar. Perry Groves alongside Jason Cundy, 03717 223344 from 10 o'clock this evening. We're back underway. Patterson's got the ball at his feet. The Sunderland keeper getting it forward. Palmer heading it back into Sunderland territory. O'Nien heading it back with a little bit of interest, and Palmer has to take a couple of steps back to get it away. Now it's played down the left for Patterson to chase. Sunderland clear on the edge of their own penalty area, and a high right-footed ball forward will give Stewart something to chase, and Peacock Farrell comes out and heads that away. That's good goalkeeping. Got there first, 20 yards outside his penalty area with his head. No margin for error, didn't need any, got it clear, out for a Sunderland throw.
No frills, goalkeeper, a sweeper keeper if you want to call him that, just clearing his lines, taking the pressure away from his back line.
Good strong running from Serkin, from left back for Sunderland. Then Byers is brought down by Pritchard. Free kick of the Owls on the edge of their own box. 1-0 they lead tonight with Lee Gregory's goal, his 9th in his last 10 games and his 17th of the season. Cancelling out Ross Stewart's goal in first half stoppage time the other night, his 25th of the campaign. Wednesday set fair as things stand at the moment for a 5th home win in a row. They'll be the first side to beat Sunderland in 90 minutes since the MK Dons back on February the 19th, which at the moment is the only loss under Alex Neil. Haven't lost an away game yet since he took charge. Peacock Farrell driving it forward for Wednesday from the free kick for the foul by Pritchard. Sunderland get it back in the midfield. Not for long, they lose out. Mendes-Lang is in there. Patterson tries to make his way forward. A little coming together, and the referee has given the free kick Sunderland's way, 10 yards outside their own box. Extra time on the agenda at the moment with 7 minutes plus a lengthy dollop of stoppage time away. From extra time, it's 1-0 to Sheffield Wednesday.
Certainly looks that way, Jim, doesn't it? I think it was something that we spoke about before kick-off, that it might actually go to extra time. So hard to split these two teams. I'm just wondering when Alex Neil's going to actually show his cards and maybe make a change. It needs freshening up. The way that they've played, you can't go back to type, start playing out from the back. They're stuck with their guns now. That's exactly what they've got to do, is keep playing this long ball and hope for the best and see if something comes their way. But this wave is just with Sheffield Wednesday at the moment, and at the moment you can only see the home side picking up the second goal. Look, it might come in extra time, but they're the side who are taking the game to Sunderland.
Another great contribution from Bannon at the start of this Sheffield Wednesday move, who heeded the cry from the Wednesday fan behind us to get it down, and he played it beautifully. Now Byers on the edge of the area with a right-footed shot that's very well blocked. Evans throwing himself, Bart throwing himself into the line of fire. Bannon chipping it in, looking for Patterson, and it's headed away and then played forward by Pritchard. That then hits Luongo and bounces back towards the Sunderland penalty area. Bannon again trying to calm things down in the eye of the storm. Sunderland get it forward, and good strong running. Story just got there in time, as it looked as though Clark potentially had the legs on him to run towards the edge of the penalty area. That Story did well, got it away, and it goes out of play for a throw that Dennis Sirkin will take on the Sunderland left. Sirkin getting it back from Pritchard, worked infield by Stewart. Bannon winning it back. Stumble in the midfield was ill-timed by Palmer. But Byers, again a calming influence in the engine room, works it wide for Johnson down the Sheffield Wednesday left. Gregory, good ball turned back through the midfield. Byers drawing the challenge of Clark, finding Mendes-Lang. Mendes-Lang round-shouldered, right-footed ball inside the penalty area. Roberts is back, heads it away, back towards the edge of the penalty area it comes. Pritchard is in there. Byers trying to get there. Pritchard clearly won the ball first, and there was a collision between the pair of them. Byers stays down. It wasn't a foul. Sunderland can bring it away with Stewart. Mendes-Lang comes back. That is a foul, and it's a free kick which will be taken by Sunderland just inside their own half. 86 gone. 1-0 to the Owls, 1-1 on aggregate on TalkSport.
If you're Alex Neil, you've got to make a change. You can see over on the right hand side, Roberts looks as if he's given absolutely everything. Jack Clark over on this left hand side. I mean, what a challenge from Story about a minute ago. 1v1, he had to time it perfect, but they can't get out their own half at the moment, Sunderland. Look, they're starting to play a little bit of football at the back now. This is the wrong time to do it. They needed to do that and keep the ball when they were 0-0. Sheffield Wednesday are back in this tie and look favourites to go through.
And they got possession back. Gregory on the near side, no foul on Sirkin. Gregory playing it inside the box. The referee has now blown his whistle, and it is going to be a free kick to Sunderland. The Sunderland bench, Callum Doyle, who's a centre-half, Elliot Embleton, who was excellent in Blackpool's successful playoff campaign at this level last season, Dan Neal, defensive-minded midfielder, as is Matete, Trey Hume, right wing back, Nathan Broadhead, who isn't fully fit, and you just wonder whether he's behind the emergency glass at the moment, break only if necessary. I don't think they want to use Broadhead, but he is there, and I'm sure that we get to a stage where Sunderland go behind an aggregate, we'll see him.
Exactly, Jim, but you're right, Jim. He's got to try and play his cards at some point in the game. No, don't let this game pass you by before we get to that final whistle. Look, we've got extra time. I think that's the way this game looks like it's going. But if he's fit enough to be on the bench, he's fit enough to play 30 minutes of football. Embleton being another one, a little bit of talent. But I'm seeing the Sunderland players out there now. They cannot wait to get rid of the ball because Sheffield Wednesday are winning it back. They're hunting in packs. They're getting into good areas. Johnson certainly down that left-hand side. I mean, what a cross that was for the goal. He wants to get involved in the game. Sunderland are trying to get the ball down and play football now. It's the wrong time to do it.
Second half, possession 54-46 in Sunderland's favour. They both had 6 attempts. They both had 2 on target. But Wednesday have got the goal. And they've got momentum now. Patterson, who's a good outball for them, heading it on. Luongo picking it up, dancing through the midfield. Bannon, good weight on the ball in, comes across the face of the penalty area from Johnson. Did it take a nick off a Sunderland player? No. And it's a throw, which is going to be taken on the Sunderland left-hand side, and we've got 90 seconds of normal time to go. But my guess is 7 minutes to be added.
Yeah, it's got to be 7 minutes. I mean, I'm looking down at the technical area now. Alex Neil's trying to get his players going. How about looking over your right shoulder, mate, and bringing a player on? Them players are on the bench. They want to be involved in a game like this. He's not made one change. They're out on their feet.
Pritchard, back from Byers. And then coming to meet it, Harley Dean. A tactic climbing over everybody. Ball back for Patterson. And Callum Patterson of Sheffield Wednesday tried to charge his clearance down. Palmer for Wednesday, bringing it forward and skipping round the challenge, finding Callum Patterson now for Wednesday, and it goes out from Luongo out towards Palmer again. Right-footed ball swept in. Mendes-Lang's going to get there, controls a bouncing ball on his chest, now takes it down. Left-footed ball clipped back in, hit Pritchard. Mendes-Lang gets another opportunity. Oh, he had Byers in support, tried to backheel it to him and stumbled over the ball, and Jack Clark's going to be able to bring it away here for Sunderland. He's looked impressive actually. He's warmed up as the night has gone on. Pritchard playing it back for O'Nien. O'Nien steering it through the midfield and avoiding Clark, who'd stayed down, was lying down on the floor for a moment and almost had the ball played into him. Sunderland bring it forward again. Byers can knock it away. Fourth official comes towards the edge of the technical area. He's standing looking at his watch. We'll find out in a moment how many minutes are going to be added. And it is 10. Wow. 10 added minutes. Clark, left-hand side of the box. Diving header away. Bannon is in there. Byers is there. Byers emerges with possession and clears it and manages to get it forward for the greying Callum Patterson, and goes out of play for a throw which will be taken on the right-hand touchline by Sheffield Wednesday. Surprised it is as many as 10, but you can understand it. We had the lengthy stoppages, notably the one that saw Sam Hutchison receive lengthy treatment. We didn't think there was enough time added on at the end of the first. They've certainly not taken a cautious approach with the amount they've added on for the second. But will either side be able to get the job done in those 10 extra minutes?
Well, I know who's got the energy at the moment, Jim, and it's certainly not in a red and white shirt. They're just hoping to get to extra time and give themselves something to hang on to. Because at the minute, Sheffield Wednesday, and every time they go forward, it looks like a forward player's picking the ball up. They've got midfield runners. I said before, they're hunting in packs. And Sunderland just cannot get out of their own half. It's not sticking enough. And just listen, the crowd are getting behind. They can sense a winner before the end of this game.
Luongo playing it back for Mendes-Lang. He's got the opportunity to deliver a high ball inside the penalty area, and it beat Gregory and Patterson. Recycled by Johnson. Bannon's left-footed ball inside the penalty area. Dean heading it back. Headed away on the edge of the 6, out towards Byers. Good header from Clark, alleviates the danger. Great touch from Stewart for Sunderland. Flicking it away from Bannon to turn direction on the sixpence. And then firing one down towards the left-hand side for Pritchard, who will head it on into space and now will take on Story. And he's level with the edge of the Sheffield Wednesday penalty area. 2 of the 10 extra minutes played. Clark's ball inside the area would have gone through to the goalkeeper. Bannon didn't take the risk, heads it away. Out for a Sunderland throw on the left wing. 92 gone. 1-0 Sheffield Wednesday.
I'm looking down now, Jim, and Pritchard has got his hands on his hips. He's leaning over. I mean, he's just came back from an injury, hasn't he? I think he's only played a couple of games. He's been asked to play 90 minutes. in an intense game like this, 10 added on minutes and then extra time. I mean, what's the point in having a bench if you've not got players who you can trust and who you can put onto the football field? Embleton's had a good season, as has Matete. You have to make those changes. I can see it myself from here. Surely the manager knows there's nothing left in the players.
Clark's got it. A little bit left in his legs maybe. Ball inside the area. Oh, it's in. Left-footed ball played inside the 6-yard box and side-footed in by Pat Roberts. Sunderland back on level terms on the night. Back ahead on aggregate and heading for Wembley unless Wednesday can score in the next 7 minutes. One potent ball is all it's taken, and Roberts has side-footed it in. 2 goals, one at either end, very similar to each other. But that one from Roberts could win the tie for the Black Cats. Wednesday 1, Sunderland 1.
It is absolutely massive. What a game and what a goal. Just when you thought Sunderland had absolutely nothing else to give, they come up with something special like that. And it was all people of Barry Bannon who couldn't let it play through to his goalkeeper. He just needed a shout from Peacock Farrell. He had to clear his lines. It then comes from the throw-in. They get to the byline and Roberts just takes that opportunity of getting in front of his man. He needed to make a clean contact with it. And what a finish. We're seeing changes now just to tick a little bit of time away. But the way Sunderland have performed, that is a massive, massive game, and I did not see that coming.
Well, you could argue it's their only decent move of the second half, but they scored from it. It's 1 apiece. Wednesday had made a change immediately. Their 4th change, they're allowed 4 because one of them was a concussion substitution and Palmer came on for Hutchinson. And they've now taken Byers off and brought Berahino on. So an attack-minded change as they chase the game with 7 minutes of stoppage time to go. Sunderland are going to make a triple change in a moment, and they're going to bring on Doyle, Broadhead and Matete. It's a throw which will be taken on the Sunderland left. Gregory on 74, Roberts on 90 plus 3, 1-1 on the night and 2-1 on aggregate in Sunderland's favour. Berahino beaten to it, but Palmer's got it for Wednesday. High ball out towards the left-hand side of the penalty area. Palmer couldn't control it. It's knocked away, but picked up at the back by Story. Story back for Palmer. Palmer finding Barry Bannon. Bannon getting it back to his goalkeeper. And now it'll be cleared left-footed. A high ball forward from Peacock Farrell. Wednesday have it all to do again. Here's Ross Stewart. Back from him to Sirkin. Sirkin's ball over the halfway line. Palmer there to mop up for Sheffield Wednesday and get it away. 5 minutes to go. 1-1. Ball played forward. Header away from Bailey Wright. Gets the better of Berahino. Out towards the right-hand side. Sunderland, who looked dead on their feet prior to the goal, now galvanised, finding that little bit extra. Stewart looking for Clark, who did brilliantly for the goal. Ball goes out to the Sunderland right. Laid back for Gooch, who's a right-footed ball forward, takes a deflection out of play for a Sunderland throw, and they'll, I would suggest, run the clock down further. They will make the triple change now. Doyle coming on, so too Broadhead and Matete. And we'll see who is coming off. First one off is Pat Roberts, and he will leave the field. Job done for him as things stand right now.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got that goal, that all-important goal, Patrick Roberts, and he's given absolutely everything tonight. He's looked lively at times in the game. It's not been a fantastic performance from him, but he won't care. Coming off the side of the field now, having scored that all-important goal for Sunderland.
Also coming off, Pritchard, who looks absolutely shot. Alex Pritchard just turns and a little nod of the head acknowledges the Sunderland supporters. It's they that you can hear singing now. Sunderland, we love you. The chorus from the top tier of the West Stand to our left-hand side. And Jack Clark's the other that's making way. So Roberts, Pritchard and Clark off. Doyle, Broadhead and Matete on.
Yeah, well again I said, they needed to freshen things up, and I think Alex Neil has been very cute in making those substitutions in the 10 minutes added on time. just ticking a little bit away as much as he possibly can, and one thought process in his head now is, look, let's just get to that final whistle. But the players that have gone on, we mentioned Broadhead, he surely must have 30 minutes in him if it was going to go to extra time. Well, we're sharp going to find out what these players have got. I'm sure Alex Neil has said to them, look, take no chances, no risks. And one of the reasons probably Matete's came on in that midfield area, just to try and put his foot on the ball and calm things down a little bit.
Well, the ball is knocked away from the former Fleetwood player straight away, involved in the action. Palmer cleared. Wednesday have now changed the shape. They've got Palmer at right back, and they've gone to a 4. Ball is played down towards Nathan Broadhead, who's had a wonderful loan spell on Wearside from Everton. And he's won a throw. No, he's conceded one. He thought he got it off Palmer, but he hadn't. It's a throw which will be taken on the Wednesday right. 2 minutes to go. There should be a time added on for the triple change. Another minute or so is Berahino, right-footed ball inside the penalty. Oh, spilled by the goalkeeper, who gathered at the second attempt. He wasn't expecting the pace or trajectory on Berahino's cross. He had an advanced starting position, and he came to meet it. I think Berahino was trying to bend it over his head and in. He didn't get it right. It got very large on Patterson very quickly, and he got his hands to it and beat it down, but Gregory was almost able to follow up and tap it in. But Anthony Patterson recovered in time. 1-1. Be interesting if Sheffield Wednesday do get this to extra time. The Sunderland formation isn't one that could remotely try and attack the game, because they've got so many defensive players on now. But here's Matete. Another goal for Sunderland now, and they've won it. Matete towards the edge of the penalty area. Just tried a little ball down the left-hand side of the box for Broadhead. Out of play for a goal kick. And we're in the 100th minute, so probably only 2 minutes to be played. And it's 1-1, 2-1 to Sunderland on aggregate.
Yeah, Peacock Farrell just getting that ball forward as quick as he possibly can. And you've just got to hang on for dear life now if you're a Sunderland player. Clear lines, put it in the corner, as they are doing now. Ball comes out to Ross Stewart over on that right-hand side, and just ticking the time away. Keep hold of that ball and wait for that whistle going to the referee's mouth. It's Barry Bannon. I mean, he's been everywhere, hasn't he? He's the one tracking back, winning the ball back. Well, it's just going to keep coming forward and forward and forward for Sheffield Wednesday.
It's launched long. Seconds, one in the midfield by Luongo. He's giving it away. And then play forward out towards Matete, who's yards offside. Free kick to Wednesday. By the time they've taken it, we will have played the 10 additional minutes. It is, of course, only a minimum of 10. Matete kicked the ball away to waste some more time and got a yellow card for that. It's going to be time added on for the triple change. Should be at least a minute. Peacock Farrell driving it forward. Hit and hope, really, knocked away by the Sunderland back line. They're all back, as you can imagine. Right-footed ball forward from Luongo. Mendes-Lang cushions it into the path of Palmer. Back for Mendes-Lang again. Can he deliver across for Sheffield Wednesday? Works inside the area. Luongo, left-footed effort. Shot that took a deflection. Matete tries to get it away. Luongo gets something on his clearance, and it bounces back behind the dead ball line and out of play for a Sunderland goal kick. By the time we've taken it, we'll be in the 12th added minute. Sunderland are all but there.
Yeah, they certainly are, Jim. And just having a look at the referee now, they normally blow the whistle from a goal kick. There's going to be no rush taking this one from Patterson.
We're going to Wembley. It's being sung in a Wearside accent. James Linnington doesn't put the whistle to his mouth yet. Ball played forward. Stewart heads it over the line, out of play for a Sheffield Wednesday throw. Hyperactive ball boy down there trying to do everything he could so the Story can take it quickly. Launch forward again. Seconds won by Sunderland in the midfield, but Evans' header only falls for Bannon. Johnson, first time left-footed ball inside the area. Patterson comes out, he's lost it, he's stranded, but Sunderland get it away to Matete. Players from both sides down, injured inside the box. Dean tries to take it on. Sunderland clear their lines, out of play for a Wednesday throw. Will there be time to take it? Sunderland players back on their feet inside the penalty area. We've played 12 additional minutes. Referee again looks at his watch. Alex Neil punches the sky. away in celebration. Sunderland have got such a checkered history in playoff matches, but they live to tell the tale here. It was late and dramatic and decisive. Pat Roberts with the goal, a man who has scored in the Champions League, but few goals will have given him as much pleasure as that one. In the 3rd minute of extra time, siphoning the ball home from a Jack Clark cross, and Sunderland are in another playoff final. They've waited 4 long, agonising years to get back into the top 2 divisions, and they are now 90 minutes away from promotion. There is no instant riposte from Sheffield Wednesday after last season's relegation. No immediate venture back into the Championship. They'll do it all again in the 3rd tier next season. Sunderland, on the other hand, are at Wembley, where they will play Wycombe a week on Saturday for promotion. It is finished. Sheffield Wednesday 1, Sunderland 1. Sunderland win it 2-1 on aggregate.